So let's see how to collect data for medical record review. What are the standards we need to follow as per statistics? So what are things we are going to review from this webinar? Let's see what are the different types of medical record review and how to calculate sample size. Even after sample size, which method we can use. Then we'll do some real scenario exercise in Minitab. Okay. Actually, there are two different types of medical record review. One is concurrent review, another one is retrospective review, correct? What is the difference between concurrent review and retrospective review? Retrospective we can do only after discharge, correct? But if you're going to assess your process during the patient's stay, not after discharge, during their stay, then we can do concurrent review. This is medical record tracer. Even as per 7th version of Joint Commission International Standard, medical record tracer is more important. So this is called concurrent review. Retrospective we can do only after discharge, correct? So we'll see what is the exact methodology for concurrent review and what is the exact methodology we should follow for retrospective review. Regarding sample size, if you are going to collect data, first we need to define our population. How to define population? If it is concurrent review, which one is population? The total number of admission. Total number of admission is the population size for concurrent review. What about for retrospective review? Total number of discharges is the population size for retrospective review. So always before sample size calculation, first we need to define our population size. As per statistics, even as per Minitab, if you are going to calculate sample size for concurrent review, we should use some formula. Still, there is no option in Minitab. So we cannot use Minitab for concurrent review. Sometimes we can use, but this is not more appropriate. If you want to calculate sample size for concurrent review, use formula. There is formula in statistics. We'll see what is that formula also. But if you are going to calculate sample size for retrospective review, after discharge, we can use Minitab. There is option and there is provision in Minitab for the calculation of sample size. So this we need to be clear. Sample size for concurrent review, there is formula. Sample size for retrospective review, we can use Minitab. Okay, now let's see which formula we can use for the calculation of sample size regarding concurrent review. As I mentioned, for concurrent review, first we need to define population size. For example, what is my hypothetical population size? 1000. This is the total number of admission. Okay, which one is my population size? Total admission. Now we can calculate sample size by using statistical formula. What is the formula? Correction factor. There is correction factor into the population size over correction factor into population size over correction factor plus population size minus 1. This is the formula. This is well-known formula for calculation sample size regarding concurrent review. This we can use only for concurrent review, not for each and every scenario. So how to calculate? So here, what is our population size? 1000. Now we need to know the sample size. How many patients we need to choose as a sample to conduct concurrent review? N is equal to, correction factor is always 384.16. This is constant, we can use always. For this one also there is formula, but you no need to know that formula because this is constant. This is not vary from problem to problem. So directly we can use 384.16 for correction factor. Multiplied by population size. So here, what is our population size? 1000 over correction factor 384.16 plus population size 1000 minus 1. So now we need to simplify. So how much is equal to, I think this is 38416, correct? If you multiply by 1000, how much it will come? 38416 divided by, and this is 999 plus 384.16. Because 1000 minus 1 is 999.
Hello, this is 384,160, sir. If you are multiplied by 1000.
384,160. Sorry, okay, no problem. 384,160, yes. Divided by 384.16 plus 999, because 1000 minus 1 is 999. So how much? 999 plus 384. How much it will come? 384.16 plus 999. 1383, correct? 1383.16. Now we need to divide. Just divide these two numbers. How much it will come? Divided by 1383.16, which is approximately 278. 278 is the sample size for this. N is equal to 278. So this is the required sample size for this concurrent review. So if the total number of admission 1000, we need to choose 278 patients as a sample. So this is what we need to do for the calculation of sample size regarding concurrent review. Now let's see how to use Minitab for retrospective review. So the next approach, the next one is, we'll see how to calculate sample size with the help of Minitab. Yes. So this is the spreadsheet in Minitab. So let's see how to calculate sample size for retrospective review. If it is retrospective review, what is the first thing we need to do? We need to choose at least 30 samples. First we need to conduct a pilot study before sample size calculation. Before going to Minitab, what is the first thing we need to do? We need to conduct a pilot study. The purpose of pilot study to know the incidence, to know the compliance rate from a random sample. This is like incidence rate. So for this pilot study, we can choose at least 30 samples, 30 record from different specialty. Randomly we can choose like 2 from cardiology, 3 from nephrology, 2 from other department. We can choose randomly. No need to use any method. Simply we can choose At least 30 records from different specialty. We cannot choose all from urology or cardiology. No. We should include all specialty. Then calculate the percentage of compliance, overall compliance. The proportion. What is the proportion of compliance from this pilot study? Overall compliance. Is it 80% or 90% or just 50%? Regarding documentation, regarding medical record, this is after discharge, correct? And there are many different areas in this, like consent form, nursing form, physician notes, correct? Calculate the percentage of compliance from each area, then calculate the overall. The proportion of compliance. For example, if it is 0.80, 0.80 means 80%, correct? In terms of proportion, it's 0.80. But how much in terms of percentage? 80%. In terms of percentage, 80%. Okay. Now let's see how to use Minitab for this scenario. So let's see how to use Minitab. Just go to File. I'm sorry, just go to Statistics. Then click on Power and Sample Size. So here we need to choose the first one, Sample Size for Estimation. Just click on this. So if you click on this, we can able to see another window. So here we need to choose proportion, not mean or standard deviation or variance, because mean we can use for quantitative data. For example, if you are going to calculate sample size for TAT, for laboratory TAT, or if you are going to calculate sample size regarding length of stay, we can use mean or standard deviation. But this is about medical record review. And what is the end result from medical record review? Just a percentage of compliance. So proportion we should use, just to use proportion. Binomial, what is binomial? There are two different outcomes. Two means either pass or fail, comply or not comply, that's all. So just click on proportion. Okay, now we need to enter our proportion from the pilot study. How much we got? The percentage of compliance from a pilot study. Proportion, so we need to enter 0.80, not 80%. 80 is a percentage, but in terms of proportion, it is 0.80. This is the percentage of compliance from the pilot study. Okay, this is about estimation of sample size. There is no doubt. Margin error. What is margin error? The level of significance, like, confidence interval. Yes. So we can use 0.05 or 0.01 or even 0.10. So these are all the acceptable level, which is similar to confidence interval 99, 95, 90, correct? So I'm going to use 0.05, 5% margin error. Okay. No need to choose any other option. Just click OK. See the conclusion for a Minitab. Within a second, we can able to see the sample size. So this is about binomial, and what is the proportion from our sample study 0.8, and what is the confidence interval, and see the sample size 298. So this is the required sample size for this retrospective medical record review. We need to choose 298 records. If you compare the first formula and this method, this is more effective and more accurate. Because this is based on our pilot study, not based on simply population. No. If you compare the formula method and the Minitab method, this is more accurate and more effective. And there is clear methodology in this approach because there is pilot study and there is calculation of sample size. So this is more effective. So we can use always for retrospective review, Minitab. The only thing, first we need to conduct a pilot study. So as per JC recommendation, we can conduct retrospective review 3 months once, correct? No need to do monthly. Even if you are going to do monthly, first we need to conduct a pilot study. Just choose a random sample of 30 from different specialty. Then calculate the proportion of compliance, whether it is 80% or 70% or 90%. Then use Minitab. To know the exact sample size. So for medical record review, now we have two different approach. Formula we can use for concurrent review. And the pilot study as well as the Minitab procedure we can use for retrospective review. Okay. Yes, so let's see what are the other things we can do from statistics for medical record review. Okay, so after calculating sample size, what we need to do? Now we need to know the sampling method. Because if you're going to choose 278 or 300 or 100 as a sample size, how you are going to choose? Because we have 1,000 population. How to choose the 100 sample? Now let's see the different method of sampling. Which method we can use to know the exact sample. For medical record review, we can use both stratified random sampling and systematic random sampling. Or sometimes we can use even simple random sampling. So which one is more appropriate for medical record review? Probability method, please. Don't use non-probability method. But what is going on in the current scenario? Always people will use convenient method. As per their convenient. The purpose of data collection to do some analysis. This is to use some statistical tool for analysis. So we need to know the standard from statistics. This is not to present data by graph, just by bar chart. The purpose of data collection to do some analysis. If you do some analysis, we can able to know the root cause. The purpose of conducting medical record review to assess your process. Is there any problem in documentation? But if you choose just a 10 sample or just 200 as per your convenient, how can we assess the whole process? So we need to know the standard regarding data collection. We need to know the standard from statistics. So after sample size calculation, we need to know which method we can use to collect the exact sample. So as per statistics recommendations for medical record review, we can use both stratified and systematic. Sometimes we can use simple random sampling, but both are probability, not non-probability. Only from probability method we can able to collect high quality data. If you use non-probability like convenient or some other method, quota method or snowball method, it is not possible to collect high quality data. Probably this one we can present in front of NABH people and JC people. That's all. But it's not possible to improve your process. So, how to use this method? Okay, for example, what is my population size? 1000. This is for concurrent review. Even we can use this for retrospective review. So this is the population size, and what is my sample size as per formula, or as per even we can use Minitab. How much I got, for example, 100. This is using either formula or Minitab. We should use either formula or Minitab. We cannot choose as per our convenient, only 20, 30, 40, no. So this is the sample size. Now I'm going to use the exact sampling method. As per statistics recommendation, first we should use stratified. What is stratified? Divide your population into group. Suppose if you're going to collect data for concurrent review, divide your population, divide your total admission by different specialty. If it is for retrospective review, divide your total discharges by different specialty. So I'm going to divide this population by different specialty. Like for example, cardiology, total admission 400, for example. Nephrology, for example, 500. Urology, for example, only 100. So the total admission is 1000, correct? So this is my population size. I have only 3 specialty, for example. Okay. Now we need to choose sample from each specialty, correct? As per probability method, we need to choose sample from each specialty. So this is what we need to do in stratified. So this is the first step. So what is stratified? Just divide your population by group. That's all. Now we need to know what is the proportion. Next step, we need to know what is the proportion between the sample and population. I think it is 10%, correct? The proportion between the population and sample, 10%. 1000 by 100 is equal to 10%, correct? The proportion between the population and sample, only 10%. So now we can choose 10% from cardiology, that is 40, 10% from nephrology, that is 50, 10% from urology, only 10. So the total sample size is 100. So we need to choose sample from each specialty. We cannot choose all from only cardiology, correct? So this is also like dividing the sample by group. This is actually dividing the population by different group, and this is dividing our sample by different group as per this proportion. Now we can use systematic random sampling. For the exact sample, we can use either systematic or simple random sampling. Anyone we can use. Suppose if you are going to use systematic, what we need to do? There is formula for systematic, correct? The population size by sample size. So here, what is the population size? The total number of admission from cardiology, 400. And how many we are going to choose from cardiology? 40. So by sample is 40, which is equal to 10, correct? So what we need to do, choose every 10th patient from cardiology department. we cannot choose 40 simply randomly, as per our convenience, we cannot choose simply 40. So this is the nth interval. So choose every 10th patient from cardiology. Every 10th means 10, 20, 30, 40 like this. And we have totally 400 admissions. So at the end, we can able to get 40, right? So this is just every 10th. Similarly, we can do for nephrology, that is 500 by 50. 500 by 50 is equal how much? 10. So choose every 10th. And what about for urology? 100 by 10, which is equal to 10. So choose every 10. This is what we need to do in systematic random sampling. This is more powerful. Instead of simple random sampling, this is more powerful. But sometimes, even for this, we can use Minitab. What we need to do in Minitab for the selection of exact sample, just enter all 400 medical record. Just enter all 400 medical record in Minitab. Then use simple random sampling method. So if you use Minitab, within a second, we can able to see the 40 sample. This is also possible in Minitab. Or we can choose every 10th one. So this we can use this procedure we can use for both concurrent as well as for retrospective review. The only difference between concurrent review and retrospective review, we should use formula. For the calculation of sample size, we should use formula for concurrent review, and we can use Minitab procedure for retrospective review. This is regarding sample size. But sampling method, same. There is no separate method for concurrent review and retrospective review. What is the first thing we need to do? Divide your population into group. Then calculate the proportion of sample and population and divide your sample size by different specialty. There are two things we need to do. Define your population by different specialty. Also define or divide your population, sample by different specialty. This is for population, this is for sample. Then use either systematic or simple random sampling. So from this, we can able to know the exact sample. So this is what we need to do for medical record review. If we do like this, I'm sure definitely we can able to collect high quality data. So if we collect high quality data, definitely we can able to know the exact root cause. There is no doubt. There is one more option in Minitab. Sometime now people are using JCA standard for calculation of sample size. Even there is standard in any batch, correct, regarding sample size. But these are all hypothetical. There is no evidence for this. But sometimes if you're going to use JCA standard or any batch standard for the calculation of sample size, after completing your survey, after data collection, after analysis, we can able to calculate the power of your study. Power of your study. Without this procedure, suppose if you are going to choose sample as per your convenient or as per JCA or any batch standard, even after completing your analysis, we can calculate the power of your study. What is power? Power means accuracy. There is option in Minitab. So what is the accuracy of our analysis? Is it highly reliable and valid result? So how to check? Yes. So just to go to stat and click on power and sample size, there is option here, one proportion. Because as I mentioned, medical record compliance comes under proportion, not under mean or standard deviation. We cannot use mean or standard deviation for medical record review. We can calculate only percentage because this is qualitative data. So just click on proportion. So here what we need to do first. Yes, we can enter our sample size. How many you choose as per any bit standard. For example, just only 100. Comparison proportion. So comparison means how much you got. What is the proportion of compliance from your analysis? At the end of your analysis, how much you got? What is the proportion of compliance? Like for example, 0.80, 80%. 80%. The next one is power value. Power value we need to calculate. No need to enter anything in power value. So this is the problem. We'll calculate now. And what about the hypothesis proportion? Hypothetical. Hypothetical means what is an average proportion of complaints in your organization as per the existing data. 0.80 from the recent data, like for example, from the first quarter of 2021 or 2022. But hypothetical proportion, an average as per our experience. What is it? What is an average proportion of complaints regarding medical record, closed medical record review? Probably 0.78. Okay. So this is just internal threshold. What is your organization threshold as per the existing data? But 0.80 is the current. Okay, I think this is historical and this is current. Yes. Now just click OK. Click OK now. See the power. See the power. 0.068, which means just only 6%. You know what is the acceptable power for reliable result? At least 80%. At least 80%. 6% not at all suitable one. This is not at all suitable. This is not a valid reliable result. How can we assess our process from this 6% of power? So if you got 6% power in your study, in your analysis, what does it indicate? There is problem in your methodology. There is no appropriate sample size. There is no appropriate sampling method. Something wrong in your methodology. If there is mistake in your methodology, then how can we do analysis? How can we present this result to the whole organization? Regarding medical record review, it is not at all possible to conduct review from each and every record. It is not possible to assess each and every record. Always we need to choose a random sample. There is no doubt. Why we need to choose a random sample? This is to present the solution to the whole organization. The purpose of selection of sample to generalize the solution to the entire population. This is to present the solution to the whole department, like for urology, cardiology. But if you got power like this 6%, how can we represent this? This is the conclusion for each department. No. This is not the representative for the entire population. There is sampling error in your analysis. The purpose of selection of sample to represent to your population, correct? This is to represent to your population. This is to predict the performance to the entire organization. But if the power is 6%, how can we present this to the entire organization? This is what we need to do in the validation of result. This is also possible in statistics, you know. There are two different types of validation we can do. After data collection, before analysis, we can validate our data. Even after analysis, we can validate our result. This is about not data validation. This is about validation of the result. Whether we can use this result to the entire organization. So 6% not at all suitable to the entire organization. So we need to change our methodology. Choose appropriate sample. Use appropriate sampling method. You know, as per IHA recommendation, medical record review not only to assess your documentation process. This we can use to identify risk. For risk management, medical record review is more important, especially concurrent review is more important. If you do more concurrent review, if you conduct proper concurrent review with appropriate sample size and sampling method, definitely we can able to identify all possible risk. For risk identification, we cannot use only incident report. We should use multiple sources for risk identification. Which one is more important? Medical record tracer. That is concurrent review. But if the power is 6%, how can we identify all possible risk? So this is the power of statistics. I hope you got some idea about sample size and sampling method, especially for medical record review. We'll do more session. Even for, there is methodology for key performance indicators. There is special formula for key performance indicators. This is only for medical record review. So probably in future, we'll do more session about key performance indicators. What are the standards regarding sample size and sampling method? Okay, any questions, please? 2 minutes per questions, please. Any questions? Is it clear? Yes, please.
I have one question. How
yes,
you are
sir,
that hypothetical some value you told, right? That historical one. How we are choosing that to calculate that power?
Yeah, for the power calculation, there are two things we need to calculate. The first one is what is the proportion from your recent study? I mean from the current one.
Okay.
So the first one is the exact proportion of compliance from the current study. Hypothetical, just an average proportion of the existing data. For this, we can include even 2020, 2021. Yes, we can calculate an average of the existing data, historical data.
Okay. So
but the first one is the yeah.
Please continue, sir.
Yeah. Actually, there are two proportions we need to calculate for power calculation. The first one is What is the proportion of complaints from the current data analysis? Probably from first quarter of 2022. Yes. So what is the compliance of documentation from our first quarter of 2022 data? And for hypothetical, what we need to do, we need to know what is an average from the existing data, which include even 2021, 2022, 20 and 2019. We can include all data as per your data management, as per your system. So what are things we have regarding medical record review? So if you have data from 2019 to 2021, yes, just calculate what is an average overall compliance. So this is hypothetical.
If I am supposed to start a newly this 2022, what should be that?
0.5, 0.5. We can put 0.5 as hypothetical. If there is no historical data, if you are new, just use 0.5 as hypothetical proportion. Yes, 0.5.
Okay. And
Yes.
one more question, sir. This is only for inpatient records. What about that outpatient record?
No, this is the methodology for concurrent review as well as retrospective review. So inpatient, outpatient is not a problem.
Okay.
Yes. The standard, we have two different standards for concurrent review and retrospective review. That's all. There is no separate system for OPD or inpatient or emergency. No.
Okay, thank you. I got the point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any other questions from others, please?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, there's a little doubt here. Sir, if the power is like, it's coming 0.06, right?
6%, yes.
We say there is a problem in our sampling method, correct, sir?
There is problem in your methodology. Not only sampling method, there is problem in your methodology. Methodology means we need to assess the sample size as well as sampling method, not only sampling method. We need to check whether the sample size is appropriate or not. Also, we need to check the sampling method, whether we used non-probability method or probability method.
So how much the power should come? It should be
at least 80%. At least 80%. In terms of proportion, 0.8. 0.8, yeah, 0.80 in terms of proportion. In terms of percentage, 80%. At least, yes. Even 90 is good, actually. 90, 95 is good, excellent. Even for research publication, the power of the study is more important. Because the purpose of research to provide some solution to the whole community. But how can we provide solution to the whole community with the power of 0.06? This is not at all suitable for the whole community. Even this we cannot use for our organization also. Even this we cannot use for our department also. So this is not an analysis. Yes.
Then we need to repeat.
Yeah, repeat. Yes.
Repeat everything.
Go for larger sample and you check your sampling method, whether you used non-probability or probability. Suppose if you use convenient, change your methodology.
Right.
This is very clear. We should use only probability method. Probability method, yes. Because in probability there is no bias. Only from probability method we can able to collect high quality data. So as a quality professional, we need to know whether we need to collect high quality data or just some data. Is it possible to collect data as per our convenient? No.
No, sir.
We need to know the standard from statistics, because this is from statistics.
Correct.
Yes. Any other questions from others, please?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, if you're doing convenient sampling and we find the power less than 80, you said there is something wrong with the methodology of the sampling. And
Yes.
also if the sample size is inappropriate.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Does it also mean that the way the medical record review was done, maybe that was also not right? Would this also reflect that?
Way means, what does it mean?
Like the reviewer has done the analysis, or should I say the review of that record or of that sample.
No. There is, there is no relationship between the power of the study and the root cause.
Okay.
If there is no clear methodology in the review, it will affect root cause. It will affect the root cause. But this is not based. There is no relationship between root cause and power of the study. The power of the study based on sample size and sampling method. Okay. Mostly it depends on sample size and sampling method. And pilot study. Yes, pilot study. Sometimes we can conduct medical record review without pilot study. So this is also a problem. So whether you conducted pilot study, whether you used a formula or some other software, sometimes people will use some online calculator. There is calculator also in online for sample size calculation. But if you use online calculator, it will affect the power value. So we should use either formula. We can use some statistical formula, or we can use some high-ended statistical software like Minitab or SPSS or SAS, or even R also we can use. Yes, these are all standardized statistical software. We cannot use some basic calculator or convenient method, no. Yes. So this is the right time to do something from statistics, even as a quality professional. If you are aware about statistics, if you know how to use statistics in our practice, there are a lot of things we can do. Yes. Any questions, please? Okay. So thank you all. We'll see. We'll do more webinar from statistics. Probably the next one is we'll see how to calculate sample size for our key performance indicators. What are the different formulas we can use? Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Good night.